What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody out there tuning in and on the World Wide Web, tuning in from all over the world, all our international viewers, all my people out here in the States, all my West Coast side viewers that's viewing in at 7:30. Welcome. It's Gas Presents Sports for the Culture. It's the one and only Scruff Lion. I'm gonna be your host for the evening. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce myself, and then I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the gang. Go ahead, top right, introduce yourself, bro.
At Bryce XXVII, aka my mama's favorite gas panelist, aka Mr. Big Leaguer, aka I hate fantasy basketball.
Yeah,
Sorry, man, I had to get it off my chest, fellas. I had to get it off my chest.
I feel that, bro. I feel that. It's a lot to keep up with, bro. Bottom left, introduce yourself.
It's your boy Demon over at Good. Still COVID free. Still getting paid.
Yeah, G had a close call, man. He missed our annual gas summit due to COVID contact tracing. You know, we thorough over here. Once I heard it was COVID anywhere within 15 feet of that, man, we had to sit him out. We had to Seth Curry him. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. We all clean when we still COVID free out here. Last but not least, bottom right, introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, man. T-Boogie, man. I'm here. I'm back. You know, I was in the heart of the COVID over the weekend. Battled that thing, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, I think I'm straight, though. I think I'm straight. I'm feeling good, feeling stronger than ever. But, hey, let's go. Let's get this started.
You was in the heart of the COVID?
Hey, man, I in the heart of the COVID, man. I was in Orlando. I was in Florida, man. I was in one of them other COVID states, you know, just trying to play a little football or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? But,
that's right.
Oh yeah, man! Congrats, man.
A little risky.
Yeah, a little risky. Yeah, I feel it, man. When you're traveling out here, you're handling business. That's what it is, man. But that's the life of a baller, man. So we're gonna dive right into this weekend's games, man. A lot of good stuff this weekend in the NFL. So we dive in like we always do, just open reactions, because you never know what one of these fellas might say. Fellas, what's the biggest surprise or takeaway of the weekend? Bryce, I'm gonna start off with you.
Biggest surprise or takeaway? There's a few. I mean, first off, I got to start with Pat Mahomes. I think just for a moment there, that Pat Mahomes injury changed everybody's outlook on the entire playoffs. I mean, it seems like he'll be okay, but one of my biggest takeaways is just how fast things can change. Yeah, I mean, Henny came in and it was nowhere near the same offense as to be expected. But just imagine if Pat Mahomes can't, strap him up next week. That changes the outlook on the playoffs. We saw it happen to the Ravens, ended up knocking them out. I thought it was an interesting occurrence that two of the top quarterbacks went down with injuries during the playoffs this week.
Yeah, injuries was definitely something that happened. Lamar Jackson went down with an injury. So I mean, it was crazy, man. Honestly, wasn't injured, but I'll say go ahead. So he looked injured. Was Drew Brees. One of my biggest takeaways from the weekend was Drew Brees, man. And I guess it's not a new takeaway for me because I've been telling y'all, if y'all been listening to me on the show, we've been at it, man, for the whole year. I've been telling y'all since week one that Drew Brees does not have the arm that's going to be able to take you to the next level over the top of the defense, man. A lot of his balls, just ran out of air, man. They just ran out of gas. It just seemed like they had his number, and it was tough sledding for him. I gotta feel like it might be time for a good old retirement party for Big Drew. What do y'all think, fellas? Do y'all think it's time for Drew Brees to call it a career? T, what do you think, man?
I think you said it right, man. You know what I'm saying? When you looked at his balls, you could tell he wasn't right. Let me go there. But yeah, he didn't have an arm strength. We talked about that last week, and that kind of led to my takeaway too. You have to throw the ball to win in this league, and we saw the quarterbacks that couldn't throw the ball. They're not around anymore. Brees and Lamar Jackson, but Brees has to shut it down, man. At this point, it's been a good run. He was part of that golden era of quarterbacks, and unfortunately, he played his last game. I mean, if you're going to Tom Brady, no shame in that. No shame in that at all.
Yeah, no shame.
DK, what up?
I suppose. I mean, I think for Drew, I mean, y'all know what I feel about Drew. Man. I don't think it was time for him, man. It's honorable to lose to a guy like Tom, but I don't know, man. I just hope he doesn't try to pull another comeback this season. Is it time for Drew to hang it up, bro?
Yeah, man. Like you saw the end of the month where he broke like 11 ribs and magically comes back after like 3 weeks and starts to play. I'm like, yeah. And then you see him his playability. With that one touchdown that he scored from Jameis, you saw how that offense moved afterwards. And then when you give it back to Drew Brees, it's just like couldn't really dunk and pass for too long before the defense caught up and saw where you're running all the time.
Facts, man. Facts. There's a lot more they could do on down the field. I think with somebody with more arm talent. I guess we piggyback that question. Bright, I'm assuming is this consensus? Is it consensus? Is it time for Drew to hang it up?
I'm not all the way in the hang it up Drew camp just yet. I mean, I saw Peyton Manning limp with the Broncos to a Super Bowl ring. I mean, if all circumstances are perfect, I'm not going to sit here and say that Drew Brees couldn't do the same. How many games did Michael Thomas play this season? I don't think that hurt Drew Brees at all. I mean, these are things that you gotta factor in. Drew Brees.
Who you say?
Michael Thomas.
He played last weekend?
No, I said how many games did he play this season? I'm just factoring.
No, I'm asking, did he play in the playoffs? Like, did he play last weekend?
No, but if we talking about Drew Brees hanging him up, I'm not gonna just base that off one game. The same way I don't base Lamar Jackson's future as a quarterback off one game. The same way I don't base Josh Allen's 206 yards, everyone going crazy over him. One game. One game doesn't tell me nothing. I look at a whole season. I look at a whole sample size. What Drew Brees showed me this year is he can still hit the underneath ball with accuracy. Look at his completion percentage. It's yet to dip. It's not in that low 60 range. He's still completing a high clip of passes. What that tells me is you still got an accurate guy. Like I said, I saw Peyton Manning limp a Broncos team to a championship. If the circumstances are perfect, I do believe Drew Brees can still do the same. Now, it's going to take a perfect storm. He's going to need Michael Thomas for a whole season. He's going to need another good running back next to Alvin Kamara to take some of the load off him so Alvin Kamara can just be in the passing game. It's going to take a lot. But, I mean, if Drew Brees wants to come back, the Saints are not telling that man no. So it's all up to Drew Brees right now, and I guarantee you that.
I think when you have to use a lot of if, it's probably time to hang it up. When you need a perfect conditions for your quarterback to succeed, I mean, this is the NFL, man. It's a big boy league. Quarterback's supposed to be the guy to get you over the top. Not, you know what I'm saying? What we saw Peyton Manning is rarely done. I think we saw Trent Dilfer do it maybe. We don't really see quarterbacks checking down their way through the playoffs. So, I don't know, man. I'm curious to see what a New Orleans fan would say, but you got to ride with Jameis or Taysom at this point.
Yeah, that would seem to be the logical choice. But I'll say two things on Drew Brees. One, I'll say is that I think it's definitely time for him to hang him up. But I agree with you, Bryce. If he decides that he wants to come back, I do believe he has that kind of pull with the Saints that they're just going to let him come back. You know what I'm saying? And then I do think, too, what you said, T, about them moving forward, I got a funny feeling that if they don't move forward with Drew Brees, that the Saints aren't going to move forward with Jameis Winston. They're not going to move forward with Taysom Hill. They're going to move forward with somebody totally different. They're going to leave both these guys in the dust. I just wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, if they were feeling Jameis Winston that much, they probably would have played him earlier this season, right? Now everyone's saying Jameis is the answer. It's funny how life goes, man. It's funny.
I mean, hey, man, there's a video clip of Drew Brees telling Jameis, this is your team. You're up next. I don't know, man. And there is reports that Drew Brees this is last year with the Saints.
Nah, Jameis may very well be up next. And I'm not saying, like, if I was a GM, I would be courting Drew Brees to my team. You know what I'm saying? But I think what y'all are missing is the fact that Drew Brees is still better than, 65% of the quarterbacks that are doing it? I mean, the dude had 3,000 yards, played 11 games, 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns. How many picks? I'm sure it wasn't that many. He never throws a lot of picks. 70% completion percentage. Bro, stop it, bro. He's better than most of the quarterbacks in the NFL. We all know how the NFL goes, man. There's 5 good quarterbacks, Everybody else is trash or building. And at the end of the day, man, Drew Brees is better than that. The bottom half of quarterbacks. To me, it's not even a question.
Now you make a good point. You make a good point. But I mean, one thing I will say, I want to make this less about Drew. I do agree with you, Bryce. I think Drew is still a quality, well, not quality quarterback, but he's not the worst quarterback in the league. But what happens when you have a good defensive coordinator like Todd Bowles that literally took him out of the game just by playing a certain defense and playing towards his strengths, man. You see, they was daring him to take it over the top. They had the two safeties going black deep. And they covered all the flats in the middle of the field, and he had nothing left because his arm couldn't get him that far, man. That's the thing, man. When a real good defensive coordinator is going to make the game plan and take you out the game, I just don't know if Drew Brees got it. But that's a good transition to the next conversation, which is about Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson, showdown last weekend between the Bills and the Ravens. Many of us on the panel had Ravens victory. Didn't play out exactly the way I was hoping, but the Bills came out victorious. Pretty solid victory for the Bills. Quiet evening, I would say, for Lamar Jackson on another exit to the postseason in his first, 3 visits thus far. I'm not pushing the panic button, but I want to know how y'all feel about Lamar Jackson. Is it too soon to panic on Lamar Jackson? T, I know you got a good opinion on this
one. I'm not gonna say. Look, if you're in the Lamar Jackson boat, you know what I'm saying. You've been backing this guy. You're not gonna panic with what you saw. You saw the center throwing a lot of bad snaps. You saw limited offensive concepts. And who eating Doritos on my segment? No, but look, we saw limited. You know what I'm saying? We just. Oh, all right, G. But look, Lamar Jackson, what we saw was you have to throw, man. I'm not gonna say you need to panic, but what you need to see is an evolution in that offense. I don't know if it's with Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, or not, but you have to throw the ball. Ravens threw the ball. I'm not even gonna talk about how many times they threw the ball. They ran the ball 30 times in a game where it was ideal conditions for running, and they couldn't get it done. 3 points at halftime. The Bills ran the ball maybe 15 times. Josh Allen threw the ball almost 40 times. So you got to pass in this league. And if Lamar Jackson isn't going to pass, whether that's, his willingness or the creativity of the offense or, what they're limiting the guy, I don't know. But he has to evolve. And until then, I'm not going to say you're going to be worried, but I'm not sure you're going to be anxious to pay this guy 30, 40 million. I don't think you'd be running to get him a ton of money and say he's our guy.
I don't know, man. That might be the asking price. Gee,
I gotta
jump in,
man. Yeah, because what we're not taking consideration, right, is look at Josh Allen now, right? Once he got a legit number 1 receiver, this dude was throwing the ball and he was accurate. Once he got Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen was in the MVP talk. The year before that, we're like, yo, he can't throw the ball deep. He could throw it deep, but it's not accurate. He can't pass the ball as much. He's a run option kind of quarterback, just like Lamar. But that's what Lamar needs. Like, you got to blame the GM at this point. Like, they got to give him a number 1. Because I thought Marquise Brown was going to explode this year. And that man was a bust. Completely bust in the fantasy standpoint. And he scored like 6 touchdowns throughout the whole season. Man, come on now. He's not a number 1 receiver. Clearly he's a number 2. Lamar Jackson needs a number 1. The scheme of him throwing it to the tight ends, defenses are picking up on that. So now you see that the NFL caught up to you. The GMs need to draft a receiver. That's why I'm not gonna give up on Lamar Jackson. He's no Ryan Leaf for all my old timers. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't give up on Lamar Jackson. He's still great. He just won an MVP last year. Like, not everybody's Patrick Mahomes. Not everybody's about to get paid $500 million to keep on playing for the same team for the next 10 years. Like I said, we got to ease it down on the Lamar Jackson talk. He's okay. He's going to do fine. And on top of it, he played a great defense this weekend. Like, look at that defense. That defense did their job. Are you guys going to sit here and tell me that the Bills defense is not a top 5 defense this year?
I'll tell you, I saw Lamar Jackson throw a pick 6 in his own end zone to a guy that he didn't see.
The defense. You're not gonna tell me they.
No, that's
they
on
didn't see
the
that?
quarterback. That's on the quarterback. You didn't see the guy underneath. The coordinator can't make you see the field. The receivers can't make you see the field. You got to make the throw.
Bro, that pass, bro, to Mark Andrews, bro. When I was watching that game, I thought he caught the ball, and then when you see the replay, I was like, wow, I didn't even see the the corner there. I'm like, what is going on? Like, they camouflaged that team completely. Because if you look at that uniform they were wearing, I thought that was a part of the end zone. I'm like, wait, what? There was a defender there? Oh, like, goddamn.
Oh man. So now, man, we can't make every excuse for guys that were potentially paying $30 to $40 million. Man. I don't know.
You said it. Potentially, he's getting paid rookie salary right now, boy.
But hey, let's not forget though, when he threw that pick, like the game was not over when that happened. The game wasn't over until the man got injured at the end of the day. And like,
right.
I get what we're saying. You know, I mean, we want to see some more passing yards from Lamar Jackson, but he got to have passing opportunities. I'm putting this on Greg Roman primarily. I give him most of the blame as far as the offensive construction goes, because they're not taking the deep shots. The offense is very, very basic. I mean, Lamar Jackson said about 4 or 5 games into the season, they know every play we run in before we run it. They're yelling out which play we're going to do before we run it. That's not on him. That's on the guy calling the plays. If you calling the plays, I'll take it to the line, and they know what I'm running. The other team knows I'm running. I'm already at a disadvantage, clearly. That's not on Lamar Jackson. There was very little creativity. I think, T, you know all about Greg Roman. So you know why he got ousted this first time. He got ousted right on your team. It's lack of creativity, and he's showing that again. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for sticking with the run, but you got to know how to mix it in. Now, has Lamar Jackson been the greatest passer in his playoff appearances? No, let's be honest. Does he have to be? No, let's be honest. I want Lamar Jackson to continue to be who he is and grow into what he is, because he's changing the dynamic of the quarterback position. The quarterback position has been one way, but it doesn't have to be. And I think he's already proven that it doesn't have to be. Now he just needs a little more help around him. I think he made a great point, man. Josh Allen, before he got Stephon Diggs, was not revered as a passer. You give him one elite receiver, and you see what happens. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, got a slight taste of that with a watered-down version of Dez Bryant. And you can see him start to get comfortable taking shots at Dez. Man, you give Lamar Jackson one of these big-body receivers. Let's not forget, when he was at Louisville, you know who he played with? Devontae Parker, if I remember correctly. So this guy's used to having one of those prime-time receivers. Let's get him one of those again, and you might see something similar.
You know, when you said, you know who he played with? I thought you were going to say somebody. I thought you were going to really drop a big name on me. But Devontae Parker was a stud at Louisville. I hate to lie.
If you're a free agent wide receiver, right, and we know contracts have incentives built into them, are you signing in Baltimore?
Yes.
I don't know.
If I'm a big play receiver, why wouldn't I?
Yes.
You're a big name receiver, big time guy.
Why
who
wouldn't
you going
I?
up against Marquise Brown to take your number 1 spot?
Yeah, I mean, so
Brown?
You're going to the number 30th ranked passing offense in the league as a receiver. If I'm your agent, that's bad business.
What passing offense were the Bills before Stephon Diggs got there? I'd love to know.
Well, G spoke on that, right? G spoke on that how Josh Allen evolved as a passer, right? But what we didn't talk about is how he developed brand new mechanics. I mean, he worked on his throwing. He went to a coach, a guru, and he got his mechanics together. He has a whole different release. Lamar Jackson is still just slinging it. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest difference. The guy didn't just wake up and get a new receiver and become a better thrower. He put the work in. He decided he wanted to be a better thrower of the football. If Lamar Jackson is willing to take that on, maybe we'll see him as a better passer. But obviously what he's doing right now isn't getting it done. We've seen him miss open guys. How can you put that on Greg Roman? If a quarterback misses an open guy badly, where he can't even get a hand on it, how can we put that on a coordinator?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Man, I see all these quarterbacks miss open guys, man. I've also seen Lamar Jackson's receivers drop dimes in the end zone multiple times this season, and I have not seen that many Ravens games. So if we're going to speak about those, we got to speak about them both ways, because I've seen at least 3 or 4 touchdowns he's missed out on. So I feel you, and I'm not saying he doesn't have to be better. I'm not saying that. But my point is, I guess, that the man is getting better. I think where a lot of people see that he hasn't gotten better, I see someone that has improved year after year. And I think the stats support that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's think
One
about it,
person.
right? Look
These
at his receiving
advanced
options.
stats. Advanced stats.
Look at Lamar Jackson's receiving options. Is Mark Andrews, and then who else? You talking about Des Bryant? Like, come on, Des Bryant.
I mean, I think Hollywood is a 1,200-yard guy in a passing offense. I mean, he's around 1,000 yards in an offense that doesn't really throw the ball. Rome says Lamar's changing the way the quarterback in the NFL is being played. Hey, man, people thought the unicycle would change how we got around. It's fun to look at, but it's inefficient. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. This guy's comparing Lamar Jackson to a unicycle.
You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
Who don't love to see the unicycle guy?
Yeah,
But-
they got a unit. They need more.
But
I
he's trying
agree
to
with y'all, man. They need more
He's trying
weapons,
to get
man.
the-
Give them some more weapons. I'd like to see Lamar Jackson
Yeah.
with somebody like a Kenny Galladay. You know, he's a free agent this year. He played for Detroit, pretty much a terrible team. Wouldn't that be a better situation for Kenny Galladay, a guy that goes up and gets it, a guy that gets 50-50 balls versus, guys like you said, that's dropping gimmies?
I want
What
to
do y'all
see
think about
Lamar
that?
Jackson in one of those bootleg passing offenses. I want to see Lamar Jackson with the Shanahan. I want to see Lamar Jackson with one of these creative guys that's going to get him out in space where he can just wreak havoc. I mean, I've never seen Lamar Jackson on a bootleg. How is that possible? Like, you know what I mean? This offense has got to be advancing around Lamar Jackson. I think right now this offense utilizes one of Lamar Jackson's skills, and that's his ability to run the ball. But it's missing out on so many other things you could have with a quarterback that's as dynamic as him.
Yeah.
I think you got to be really careful what you wish for. I think what you're asking for is the young guy to be exposed, but until he gets that dynamic offense around him, we just have to speculate, I guess.
I think it's better to let the kid potentially fly than, be afraid to let the kid fly. It's a lot of bright offensive minds in the league right now, a lot of hot coordinators and offensive dudes, especially in the college game coming into the pros, man. I think you find a good young offensive coordinator that can give them a little bit more creativity, breathe some life into the offense, if you will.
Doug Peterson?
No.
Nobody wants that.
Doug Peterson.
Well, no, you make a good point, T. Doug Peterson actually might be a good choice to infuse in that offense. He's got a little bit of respect. He got a ring. They already got John Harbaugh. That's right off the same coaching tree, bro.
And
Hey,
apparently,
if Roman goes, you heard it here first.
well, apparently Doug Peterson wanted Jalen Hurts. I'm pretty sure Lamar Jackson's just a way better version of Hurts. So
yeah, I'm sure he'd be pretty happy with that. Yeah, I think he'd be pretty happy with that, bro. But yeah, big weekend. This game, this coming weekend, we down to our final four, if you will. Biggest weekend's matchup, at least for me, I'm most looking forward to is the Packers and the Bucks. Y'all know I predicted that Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl run, and so far he's held up to form. He was, I would say, out of everybody last weekend, I'd say that Aaron Rodgers had the best performance out of all the quarterbacks. But now he's coming up against Tom Brady, which is classic matchup. We're talking about Tom Brady, a guy that's pretty much the most decorated, winning quarterback, Super Bowls, all that. They're talking about him like he's the GOAT. Now, I think a guy like Aaron Rodgers is just as talented as Tom Brady, but maybe just hasn't had the opportunities, and I think he's got a little chip on his shoulder. So Packers and Bucks, I think this one should be a fun one. G, who you got?
I got Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, you said G or T?
You said T or G?
I said G, but
my fault. That's me.
I'm not. All right. I got Aaron Rodgers right now, man. That man is looking like an assassin. You saw what he did to the Rams, just picked them apart. That offense is clicking. He's settled down. And on top of that, man, they're going to Green Bay. They're going to the Packers field on a cold day. I think they're saying they might snow that day. And I don't know about you fellas, but I never seen people coming out of Florida talking about I'm ready to play in the snow.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. Tom Brady got old limbs. I don't know how you gonna hold up in the snow. Green Bay, traditional. That's what kind of their MO, right? T, who you got?
I told you last week. I've said this the last 10 years or so, man, if not more. You do not bet against Tom Brady. You lose your money that way. It doesn't even make sense. You're talking about the snow, and you're talking about arguably the greatest snow quarterback of all time. You know what I'm saying? If Brady's 1, Rodgers is probably 2, so you get an interesting matchup there, right? And I think the Packers are running the ball a bit better, but you can't bet against Tom Brady. I mean, the guy has a chance to play for his 7th ring, 10th Super Bowl. I'll say this. Like you said, it's going to be a fun one. I'm going with Brady, but it's going to be cool because it's the first time we've seen Rodgers at home in the conference championship. I think he's always traveling. I think it's been Atlanta and San Francisco off the top of my head. But it's going to be cool to see Rodgers at home. And either way, it's a GOAT debate. It's the greatest of all time debate. I think Tom already has it, but this gives Rodgers a chance to chip away and really make a case for himself. But I'm going Brady.
Facts, T. Facts. Yes, it is actually his first time hosting a NFC Championship game at Lambeau Field in Rodgers' career, which is nuts if you think about it.
No, it can't
Bryce,
be.
don't question me, boy.
Nah, because remember
fact.
when Eli Manning played against Green Bay? I believe that was the NFC Championship.
Nah, man. I got facts, man. If you don't remember no hard evidence, you are wrong. Because it's a fact. I looked it up. I looked it up before the show.
What a culture is. Somebody chime in and let us know.
Yes, let us know that year that the Giants beat Green Bay at home, not the first year against fucking Brett Favre. We're talking about the Aaron Rodgers one. I believe that's 2011 playoff run. I believe we played them. I believe that was the game. Yeah.
Hey,
I believe you. I believe you didn't say anything conclusive in the whole 30 seconds that you just been talking, bro.
I don't know, man. He sounded pretty specific.
I'm about to say,
I
he might be in his Swami bag
run.
today.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I remember. Because the only people to beat any Green Bay quarterback is Eli Manning at home.
Well, I know one thing, man. It's gonna be a hell of a matchup, man. And I think it's some interesting matchups to kind of keep an eye on. One of them that's getting underrated with all the quarterback talk will be these running games. I think whichever team can establish the run a little bit, especially if we're talking about a weather game, the elements are going to be at play. You're going to have the Jones versus the Jones, Aaron Jones versus Ronald Jones. Aaron Jones, we all know he's been killing it this season. Ronald Jones just missed 1,000 yards. I mean, if he would have played 16, chances are he would have got it. Injuries held him back. But I do think whichever team's able to establish the run, get into some bully ball a little bit, especially if it snows, will have an advantage. Now, the Buccaneers have been stout on the run all season. You're talking about 2 top middle linebackers with my guy, what's my boy's name?
White.
Devin White and Levante Davis.
I
was thinking about Levante Davis first, just because Levante Davis everywhere, man. When you got a running back like Aaron Jones, who loves to get to the outside, you got to have somebody that's going to cover ground. I think when I think about that matchup, who wins the ground game, I think the Bucs probably end up winning that, and that's why I give the Bucs the edge, man. I think they're going to win the ground game. I think it's going to be very important in this matchup. I think it's going to be, DK. I agree with DK, man. I think it'll be a defensive matchup first and foremost. So I'm gonna be keeping an eye on sack totals, turnover differential, things like that, because I think those will be the key to the game, especially if the elements are involved.
I mean, that is a hot take, right? Defensive game, running the ball. I don't know, man. Brady leads the league and passes over 20 yards. He has like 41 completions, like 1,200 yards in the air, passes over 20 yards. I don't know. I think he's going to throw it. I think Mike Evans is a huge target, especially when it's cold. You know what I'm saying? You might not be able to get up to your top speed. It's going to be a fun one, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one for sure. I got my money on Green Bay. Just let it be known, man. I'm pulling for a slight underdog here in this situation. I'm not sure exactly what the line is, but I'm liking Aaron Rodgers to make this a little bit more interesting. I'm maybe get a chip under his belt and then come back again next year time, and then we can talk numbers. You know what I'm saying? I think Aaron Rodgers is trying to creep up there. But we shall see, man. It's going to be a fun one in Green Bay. Next matchup we got this weekend is 2 gunslingers. From all reports is that Patrick Mahomes should be back to play in this matchup. Showdown between the Chiefs and the Bills. 2 quarterbacks that are known to slang that rock. You know what I'm saying? Who you got your money on, T?
Mahomes. Pat Mahomes. I mean, if he plays, if he plays, I know he's in the concussion protocol. The NFL is sounding real crazy with if he actually has a concussion or a pinched nerve. They're trying to keep it real hush. There may be some gaming there by the Chiefs, but if he plays, I'm going Chiefs. I don't know how you can bet against Mahomes. I think that team has shown that they've been ready for this moment all season. They're kind of been ready to play their best football this time of year. They have three guys I think can beat you on their own. I think Kelsey can get hot and beat you on his own. I think Tyreek Hill can do the same thing, and then you got a quarterback and give him the ball. So I can't go against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I think the Chiefs, hard to go against them, but when I saw Henny come out there, made me change my mind, boy. Henny, I mean, they're dead in the water. Man, look, they're dead in the water without Mahomes. I'm going to say that straight up. So Mahomes plays, I mean, even if he's only 75%, I'm going with the Chiefs. But man, that's going to be a good matchup. I think the Bills, I'm happy to see the Bills make it because I do think they have the most opportunistic defense in the league right now. And I think you need that when you're going against Mahomes. You got to get one or two turnovers that really weren't supposed to happen. You got to have one or two breaks go your way that really weren't supposed to happen. You know, they got probably the best kick return over the last 2-3 seasons in Andre Roberts. So you got to have field position. You know what I mean? You got to do your best to keep Mahomes off of the field. You want to know who's going to win this game? Whoever wins time of possession is going to win this game. If at the end of the game we look at time of possession and Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs are down around, 26 minutes or something like that, Bills probably got the W. So those are the type of things I'm going to be trying to keep my eye out on in this game. Because I think it really will matter. And I think Andy Reid knows this. So expect Andy Reid to not be in his quick passing bag early. Expect Andy Reid to try to run some clock, try to really establish himself and tire down the Bills' defense. Because if you can do that, it's going to be easy victory for the Chiefs.
Okay. It seems like a pretty straight line path to a Kansas City victory. G, who you got?
I got this game being a more defensive game out of the other games. These two games, is going to be the most defensive game. Both teams' run game is trash. None of those run games coming from both sides are any good. So you know the corners are going to be either blitzing or they're going to stack the box because Le'Veon Bell does not have it anymore. And I don't even know who the Bills running back is. At this point, I'm like, besides Josh Allen, I don't see this being so much of an offensive game this weekend. And look how the Chiefs defense played right after Patrick Mahomes wasn't there no more. They held it down. They played defense, and they almost won that second half of the game. They won that game. And then when you're talking about the Bills, look what the Bills did over the weekend. If it wasn't for those missed field goals, besides that, Bills defense held it down themselves as well throughout that whole game. So this is going to be not going to be a light out shootout game like we think it is. This is going to be mostly that kind of hard, nitty gritty kind of defensive game. Probably going to be a slow game. I see the score being 10-21 at most, Chiefs, because they're going to be. You can never go against Patrick Mahomes. Not right now. The kid is not even in his prime yet, and he's playing like he's in his prime. So I can't wait until he gets to his prime to see what we're going to get out of this man. Yeah, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. That's the kind of man I don't bet against. Tom Brady, yeah, because you know the time.
Damn,
I know a lot of people are anxious to see that good old State Farm Super Bowl, Mahomes versus Rodgers. But I think you're looking at a 14-win team, Chiefs, and you're looking at a Bills team that you have to stop one guy. You know what I'm saying? This game will come down to how Diggs plays. There's no one else on that team that can beat you. If you stop Diggs, you stop the Bills. I mean, anybody else you guys worried about that you might have to game plan against? Because I know you go
Beasley. I think we're not sleeping on Beasley.
Josh Allen on the ground is definitely a thing, man. If he gets out with them legs, man, it'd be an issue.
A lot of them dudes get open though, bro. Like Diggs gets a lot of yards, yes, but like there's a lot of dudes that get open. There's a lot of players when I watch the Bills, and I'm like, damn, is that Diggs? And it ain't Diggs. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got other dudes that catch the ball and make plays. You know what I'm saying? I believe they got John Brown, Cole Beasley, right? Sound about right. You know, I'm just saying, man. Put a little respect. I'm really surprised though, G, that you saying it's gonna be a defensive game, Anybody know G's betting history? My man is the king of picking overs. All he do is pick overs.
Overs,
This is a
baby.
shootout, man. It has to be a shootout.
How? It can't. None of those guys have a great running attack.
Right. That's why. I mean, if you can't go to your running game, you know what I'm saying? If no one can establish the run and one team starts scoring, both of those teams, you know, when you get down to the red zone, you can't kick field goals. You can't. I think we're looking at a game where we see one team at 30 points. It's going to be a race to 25. I say whoever gets to 25 first might win this.
If it's a shootout like you're describing, T, I actually like the Bills' chances. I really do like the Bills' chances if it's a shootout. In a controlled game, in a chess match, I like Andy Reid coming out on top. But it's something about the Bills this season. When they got to put up big points, big time points, they're putting them up. I haven't checked the points for this season when it comes to NFL teams' offenses, but Bills got to be up there. I mean, on the top, I would guess they top 5. Because, they've been putting up 45s and 38s every time I turn around. Man, I don't know, man. I think this game is going to come down to one of those grinded out type of games where Andy Reid's coaching acumen is really on display and he's able to kind of, finesse his way out of one.
So you guys are telling me this game is going to come down to like Le'Veon Bell and Edwards-Helaire versus Singletary? No.
Well, maybe not that.
I'm not saying that. I told you.
Maybe in the pass game it comes down to that, man. Maybe it comes down to, flats. Maybe it comes down to the flats all day. Maybe I could see if any defense is going to be able to hold down Kansas City's deep passing attack, it's the Buffalo Bills. So they're going to have to find another way to attack that.
I love the Buffalo secondary. I'll admit that.
I think they'll slow it down a little bit in the beginning of the game, but I think what it's going to come down to is going to be a slow start to the game. If y'all want to take this, write this down. You want to take the under in the first half, and then in the second half, it's about to be a straight shootout. So I think at the end of the game, after a slow start, the quarterback that has the ball in his hands last is the one that's going to win the game. I am not telling you who that is, but the quarterback that has the ball last will win the game. Put that on record. That's just how I'm feeling. It's going to be a shootout.
Give me some final scores. What y'all think? Give me some final scores.
31-27.
Okay.
I'm telling you who picked. All right, Chiefs. If you want.
No winner. It's a little cheap, but 31-27. I like it.
Chiefs. 31-27 Chiefs. I put my chest behind it.
Anybody else?
17-21.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking more along those lines.
17-21. Chiefs.
Okay.
I'm leaning more towards a 17-21 type game, or even one of those scores you don't typically see. A random 22 to 16 or something crazy. Every once in a while we get one of them scores that never happened in the history of the game. It's like, man, maybe we'll get one of those this week. I can see it happening.
Vegas has the combined score at 54. Kind of high.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's not too bad. 20. Yeah.
I'm saying this right. The Browns defense held down Patrick Mahomes to under 17 points, right? Because it was like 16 at the half.
The Browns also had a dominant rushing game and an injury.
It goes to show, right? But a poor not even like a legit defense that you would consider top 5, and they held Patrick Mahomes down to 17 score at the half. Now, what do you think the Bills are going to do at the half? I think the Bills hold them down to at least 10. I don't see the Chiefs having more than 10 points at the half.
Hey, let's be honest, man. Pat Mahomes has had some very pedestrian outings this season, and he was sharp. He was sharp, last game, but it wasn't 2019 Pat Sharp. What I've been saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's still balling, but it's like you can turn him a little more pedestrian than he was last season. If the Bills can rattle him a little bit, we'll see, man. He's already coming in a little rattled, based off the injury from the week previous, but. I don't know. We'll see, man. I think the Bills will be in. I think the Bills will be in this game the whole time. I don't see a Chiefs rout of the Bills. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see a rout either. The thing about, I think it's gonna be a close game. But the thing with Patrick Mahomes is, I think he's so talented that sometimes, he'd be letting dudes off the hook. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so talented that he could just kind of have pedestrian 3 quarters and just pull together for the fourth quarter and just pull out a dub. You know what I'm saying? I just that's just my personal take on it. So I think it's going to be a close game, but I think he's going to prevail when push comes to shove.
I mean, we'll see. I know last time he played, Edwards-Helaire ran for like 160 on the bill, so Russell might be the way to go. Either way, I mean, I don't think anybody is mad at these two matchups we have going into the Super Bowl. I mean, no matter how it shakes up, we're going to get a good game in the Super Bowl.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
As long as it's not Tom Brady, I don't care.
Yeah, well, I'm not certain that's going to happen. We'll see, man. Brady's got a track record of being there, so we shall see. That's one where we're split. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. It's actually pretty split across the way, man. But I'll tell you one thing that does got a lot of people mad for sure is the news that went down last week. I'll tell you who wasn't mad. We weren't mad. Gas wasn't mad because we already knew about it, man. we was telling about y'all that about 2 months ago. We knew James Harden was going to Brooklyn, because at the end of the day, it's the NBA. And the NBA, it's a players' league. If you got the juice, you got the juice, kid. James Harden got the juice. James Harden said he wanted out. James Harden got out. That's the thing. Now, you can argue the way he got out. One of my most hated words of 2020 is toxic. I'd like to leave it behind, but I can't label James Harden's behavior as anything other than toxic. So James Harden got his way. He's finally out of Houston, and he's now with the Nets. But do you have a problem with the way that he got out?
No, I don't. I stopped caring about what people think you should care about when it comes to sports, man. At the end of the day, these are just sports, you know what I mean? And if somebody wants to play a sport in a different city, I don't have a problem with it. And I don't have a problem with them scheming to get to where they want to go, especially if they felt like they've been done dirty. It's not on me to tell James Harden if he gave his all to Houston. It's not on me to decide for him. It's on him to feel that way. The man felt like he gave everything he had to Houston. He had no more left to give. There was no more to squeeze out of that limit, at least for Houston. And he wanted out, and he got out. I mean, we see it happening in the NFL. I call it power to the players. Remember power to the people movement? This is power to the players, man. About time players can have a little more control over their futures, over their destinies, because we all know, if that boy was to pop a Achilles tomorrow, they would have been the first team ready to get rid of his contract, And it's just like it is what it is. I mean, we know it's the nature of sports, but now that nature is going both ways. Okay, you guys can easily cut me out of my contract. Well, guess what? I can easily leverage who I am and what I've become in this league to maneuver myself in this league how I feel. And I love to see it. I'm not mad. If he was really wearing a fat suit, I think that's hilarious. And he just played a prank on the entire sports world. But shout out to James Harden, man. He is where he wants to be. Gas had it first. I think we've known for like Scruff said, man, almost 3 months now. I mean, we were telling y'all that when we heard from our sources, our direct sources to James Harden. So there was no way we were lying. But shout out to James, man. I'm just interested now to see how that trifecta of him, KD, and Kyrie ends up working out.
Well, y'all know the stripper he be messing with? I thought that is.
What are you talking about, bro? This is a
this
no snitching environment. I told y'all once. I've been told y'all twice. No snitching
Never
on the
leak
show.
the sources, baby. Never leak the sources.
Yes. We don't do that here, man. We don't do that here. But yo, Bryce, you bring up a very, very, very interesting and funny point, man. It's been a topic of conversation on Twitter. You mentioned James Harden, and you mentioned him, possibly wearing a fat suit is what the fans are talking about on Twitter. NBA Twitter has gone to speculating about James Harden's call it bloating issues, if you will, or deflation, if you will. Now, I've been on all types of diets, fasts, and all types of things, water cleanses, juice cleanses. What juice cleanse did you do, James Harden, that got you from point picture on the left to the picture on the right to the point where people on Twitter are even saying that James Harden wore a fat suit. We talking about a fat suit, man. They said James Harden wore a fat suit. Obviously, you can see on the picture on the left, my man looking, let's just say chunky, to say the least. Now, on the right, they do say black is slimming, but dang, that is such a crazy, crazy, crazy parallel right here, y'all. Did James Harden wear a fat suit? Are y'all throwing any life to this Twitter rumor out there about James Harden wearing a fat suit? Fellas, tell me how y'all feeling, man.
The guy didn't wear it. He didn't wear
He
a
said
fat
drop the
suit.
Lamar.
I know you said it was toxic, and that's typically what happens when a relationship runs its course, and one side doesn't want to let the other side go. But I don't think he wore a fat suit. I think what you're seeing is a guy that didn't come to camp. You know, he hadn't been working out. I think he was always trending that direction, and I think it looked incredible. It looked faster than the average human could slim and weight. You know, but he's a professional athlete, just like a boxer. You know, they can cut weight. And I would imagine that Harden picked up playing basketball, you know what I'm saying? Even outside of just with the team, I think he just probably picked up just more cardio, more burning calories. So I don't think it was a fat suit. I think he was more happy to play, put in more work, and that's the result of that. They say men can lose weight pretty fast. So I think that's what we saw there. No fat suit.
You do make a good point, T. And based on his track record of what he was doing prior to the season, it's very possible that he wasn't in the best playing shape. You know what I'm saying? So that is possible. Bryce,
I mean, he's out of Houston, man. You know what I'm saying? The food is much better down south. So you go to Brooklyn, you're gonna eat a little different. So
you got
keep that in mind too.
Plus, you know, we used to our normal workouts, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes, you know, we burn an hour at the gym, do some cardio, whatever. How many calories you think you burn dropping 60 points in a triple-double, man? I'm assuming a lot, right? I don't know, man. Y'all buying this fat suit thing, man? G, talk to me, bro.
I can't believe we're really talking about a grown man wearing a fat suit during the game, prior to games. Bro, like it's true, man. He was enjoying them chicken wings. I don't know if there's a Magic City out there in Houston, whatever kind of club. You know what I mean? My boy was living life, living large. And he ended some of the best barbecue down in Texas, baby. Can't be mad at him for that.
Yeah, it is good. It is good barbecue in Texas. And James Harden, man, I'm sure he was eating good, man. Let's look at it one more time.
Hold on. You guys say y'all already knew that he was going to Brooklyn, so you know he had to stock up on the good food before he left.
Yeah. You know, it's all too funny, man. It just reminds me, you know, one of my favorite shows growing up, Fresh Prince. It just giving me these kind of vibes. You know what I'm saying? Give me these kind of vibes, man. James Harden, I don't know, man. I ain't saying it's a fat suit, man, but it's just funny to think about, man. Just funny to think about. Oh, man. If that man really did put on a fat suit to get his way out of Houston, man, that goes into the finessing Hall of Fame for real. But I don't think that's the case, man. Brother just looked like he was retaining a lot of water. But nah. On a serious note, fellas, man, the Nets are something serious, man. They already off to a hot start. James Harden came in first game on the Nets, 30-point triple-double. KD drops 40+. Pretty much looking bona fide right off the bat. And they beat the Bucks the other night in the showdown. I'm going to go on the record and say they're already better than the Bucks. T Boogie, are the Nets the favorites to win the East?
I don't know, man. It's a very small sample size, but I'm going to say from a fan perspective, yes. And maybe not from a basketball perspective. From a fan entertainment, yes. They have the most explosive players. You have arguably 3 of the top 10 players in the NBA. How could you not be the team to beat? They might be the team to beat in the league. Not a lot of depth on the bench, but potentially you could keep a top 10 guy on the court at all times. Not too many teams that have that luxury.
Yeah, you got a good point. I think anybody that watches basketball, I mean, I know it's quick reaction, but you want KD and James Harden, or do you want Chris Middleton? I don't know. I'm picking James. I'm picking James Harden as the better sidekick there. Bryce, are the Nets the favorite to win the East, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if this is even a question. Like, I mean, they might have been the favorite before this, so like now it's like they almost a shoe-in favorite when we talk about choosing favorites, especially as far as like Vegas goes. You know who Vegas is going to take right now. But I don't think it's necessarily foolproof. I don't think that these three, to me, they don't fit like a puzzle. I'm still curious to see, has Kyrie played a game with him yet? If he did, I didn't catch it.
No, I think he's supposed to play tomorrow.
So he'll start with him tomorrow. Now I will say that James Harden and KD alone looked unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie. That actually looked amazing. It looked like a match made in heaven. Matter of fact, it looked like they played together before. Oh yeah, they have. So they already kind of know each other's game. But when you throw Kyrie Irving in there, that's a whole new dynamic. Putting that type of not just caliber of player, but also style of player. You know, styles make fights. Styles make everything. You know what I mean? And in this case, I think the styles will make this team. Can they all mesh? Can they all find find their spots when so many of their spots are the same exact spots? We'll see. We'll see. Yet to be seen yet. But I do think they all have the talent. And if they all want this to work perfectly, they can make it work perfectly because they all have an array of talents. You know, they can all be the distributor. They can all be the shot maker. They can all be the clutch guy. So the question just becomes who is what and when. And if they can, the faster they decide that, the faster they figure out, the better. I mean, I know if it's me, I want KD closing, right? I want Kyrie opening, and I want Harden during the duration. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I see it. But you never know. Kyrie gonna be in his bag one game. He's gonna want the last shot. When we all know it should go to KD. James Harden might take a step back one time. Down 8 when they just need to quit 2. You know what I mean? Like, who knows these small dynamics? It's gonna be a lot for first year coach Steve Nash to figure out. But I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, that's the thing. B, I don't think that he has to figure it out. I think it's a situation where you can play by committee to a certain situation. But you mentioned the different spots on the court. And the thing about these players is so gifted, especially KD and James Harden. I put them on a higher level, higher upper echelon caliber of player than Kyrie Irving. No disrespect to Kyrie Irving. But them two players, yeah, they got the same spots on the court that they could score from because they can literally score from any spot on the court. That's the reason. KD can score from anywhere on the court. Dude, 7 foot, he shoots like Larry Bird. He can handle the ball. And he's one of the best player. My favorite player in the league, man. He's still my favorite for the MVP. Up until James Harden joined the team, because now I'm wondering if James Harden's a favorite for MVP. Because now, all the crazy video game numbers that he's been putting up, now he's going to be on a team, you would think, a winning team that could potentially have him in the situation. I just wonder what the mix is going to look like. My only concern with them is, do they have the right pieces around them? Me and G were talking about it the other day. James Harden, KD, these are all great players offensively, but who's the tough guy? Who's the enforcer? You know what I'm saying? It's like them Bulls teams. They had that Dennis Rodman. They had that, somebody was going to get tough, and I don't know if they have that on the Nets. And I'm not saying that they can't get it. There are guys like that available, There's plenty of names out there, but I'm just a little concerned. Jared Allen, he's an underrated player, man. NBA's got a new thing out there. It's called Hustle Stats. If y'all not familiar with Hustle Stats, I'd recommend check them out. But NBA.com, look up Hustle Stats, bro. It's the real stats that nobody pays attention to. Deflections, screen assists, contested shots. Jared Allen's 3rd in the league in screen assists. You know what I'm saying? He's 5th in the league in contested shots. When it comes to Hustle Stats, period, he's top 10. Who's going to be that dude that's going to get down and dirty and be the enforcer on the team with these 3, incredible talents offensively? That's the one thing I wonder. When they traded Jared Allen, they took the one player that could literally stop Joel Embiid or Giannis, and I wonder who's going to be the tough, who's going to be the tough guy on the team, if you will, because those 3 guys I listed, I don't know if any of them are going to get those stops for you down the stretch, when you really need them. And that's my only concern with the Nets. I don't know if y'all agree with me, how y'all feel about that.
No, I mean I agree with you, especially when you're talking about the concern, just how the pieces fit, and not having another presence there. I mean, they beat the Bucks, right? 2-point game. Everybody in that starting five played above 37 minutes. That's not sustainable. Maybe if you're in a playoff series, you can push guys that much, but if you got to play guys, you're starting 37 minutes to beat the Bucks by 2. I'm not sure how that plays out down the stretch. The Bucks played one guy over 30 minutes. They played Giannis 34 minutes. So Bucks played their regular rotation. It was a regular season game for them, and they still pushed the Nets to 130-ish, and that's the problem. How are you going to stop? I mean, they have to stop somebody. Teams are probably going to have to score 30 points a quarter, but it looks like it's probably going to be possible. And I mean, they're letting Giannis hit threes. I mean, it looks like it's probably going to be possible to score 120, 125 nightly on the Nets. So the Nets are going to have to score 135, 140, to win games. I don't know. That's the only concern. The matchup problems, the rotation, and you're right. They don't have that Draymond Green. They don't have that Jared Allen. They need that guy. Maybe they'll trade for somebody, but Nash, it's going to come down to Nash. I don't think you can just throw those three out there and let them play. It's too many personalities. I think you need a coach. Coaching in the NBA is about managing personalities. And I don't know what Nash brings to the table in that department.
Man, I think we're forgetting him, man. KD, this transition for KD is nothing. He did go to State. Look, he had the Splash Brothers, who both were crazy shooters, and then you throw KD in the mix. Look at his transition now with the Nets. I don't think it's that much of a difference. He just got one. Kyrie is not such a talented shooter like Steph Curry, but James Harden, he could cover both of that in when you compare him to Klay Thompson. So the transition for KD is going to be a lot easier. That's what people understand right now when you look at the Nets. From my perspective, like they're just Kyrie away from blowing teams out in the East. You said it yourself, T. They only won by 2, right? And they use all their starting members, and each 30 minutes, they're talking about throwing Kyrie Irving there now. You don't think that would have been a larger margin of victory if Kyrie was there? I'm sure as hell do. I think they would have won by 15. Because, like, who's stopping that? It's just crazy that everybody's saying, like, yo, they're not going to mesh. They're going to mesh because KD already went through a similar process with Golden State. So his transition is going to be a lot smoother. The only mission that we really got to worry about a little bit is Kyrie and James Harden. But even then, it's going to be scary. Either you're going to have Kyrie and James Harden playing both at the same time, or KD and Kyrie, or James Harden and KD. Like, whichever way you have, you're going to have 2 duels that are going to go crazy. And when you think about the Nets, it's for me, if the Bucks could get out their way and step it up during the playoff is where we're going to see competitive Bucks versus Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals, because that's the only we're waiting for is Giannis to show out in the playoffs. Because right now, this is meaningless to me. This whole regular season, not to say it's not going to be a great regular season, but I want to see if the Bucks could step it up. Because if they could step it up, then yeah, I can't say. That's the only reason why we're saying what we're saying about the Brooklyn Nets, because we have yet to see the Bucks step it up. If we see the Bucks step it up, then we wouldn't be talking this hot spicy talk. Because
No,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Nah. I disagree. G.
Me too.
I mean, because I think I agree with what G is saying, because first of all, let's not act like the Bucks didn't get better. You know what I mean? They probably had outside of the Nets, they might have had the biggest single player upgrade in the Eastern Conference by bringing in Drew Holiday. I think that's a underrated move. I don't know how more people haven't jumped on their bandwagon because of that alone. And in my opinion, they will be there. They will be one of the last 2 teams standing in the Eastern Conference Finals. And they will have to go up against the Nets. And we'll see how much growth that Giannis has made from one year to the next. And in my opinion, it's all going to come down because at the end of the day, we know the Bucks have a complete team. They've already proven that to me. Don't get me wrong. They haven't proven that they can get over the hump yet because they need Giannis to just pull them by his bootstraps. But they've proven they have a complete team. Everyone on that team has a role. T just dropped the stats for you. Everybody on that team got minutes in the last game, right? But the Nets, on the other hand, they don't have that, right? And what we don't know if they have is the coach to manage these guys. T, I think you hit the nail on the head. This all comes down to Steve Nash. I mean, this is who they wanted. This is who they handpicked to coach them. They went and got an inexperienced guy who knows how to play the game, but he's never managed the game. And now we're going to see just how much knowledge he has. I mean, he has D'Antoni helping him, another guy who's never had real playoff success, has never been a guy with strong defensive basketball teams. Steve Nash played in the league for years, was never really a part of a strong defensive basketball team. And what do we see the Nets struggling with right now? Defense. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think that they have to have some sort of enforcer on their team. I mean, if you're telling me I got 3 top 10 guys and we can't go out and get it done, then what did I get 3 top 10 guys for? Like, that's why I got 3 top 10 guys. So I don't have to have a complete team. So I don't need the enforcer. I don't need the role play. That's why I got 3 top 10 guys, right? I think we saw this try to happen in Miami, and they couldn't get it done the first year. This is not easy to do. It doesn't just championships don't grow on trees. You know what I mean? And neither do finals appearances. But these 3 guys are definitely debatable top 10 guys. And, you know, I got faith they can get it done. But if Giannis, you know, steps up his game, that series is a toss-up to me.
I mean, I don't see why we're counting out the Celtics, who currently are in first place without Kemba.
Thank you.
And adding Tristan Thompson. I mean, he gives them that Al Horford presence that they were missing. And then the 76ers have gotten much better. I mean, I don't think the Nets run away with this. I think, like I said, from a fan perspective, you know, a 2K, NBA 2K perspective, sure. Like, they're the team to beat. You know, they're the most fun team to watch, arguably, right? But when you get out there and actually got to stop somebody and put the ball in the hoop, different ball game.
But that's James Harden's defense, though. You're going to have to foul him. And when you foul him, someone's going to foul out. That is James Harden's – that's his defense. Because his offense is his defense. For how many players you have fouling him, they're going to get up to, 4 or 5? And then now you got to sit players. Your rotation got to play a little different. That's what I'm saying. Defense don't even matter for the Nets right now. When you get all those players clicking and busting and moving, this is what I'm saying, though. My thing is, like, the only reason why the world is counting out the Bucks right now is because we have yet to see you guys show us in the playoff what I could do. Because it's been nothing but first round exits. And I don't consider the Celtics as a team right there, because how are they going to stop the Nets? I don't see no one in that team shooting or trying to score as much as they score when they start clicking. And the 76ers. Well, I'm not even going to say nothing, because if I say something, man up there going to be mad and tight. But it's not to discredit him, but, like, yo, come on. Ben Simmons, like, is he going to score at least 30 during the playoffs? Do you see Ben Simmons giving you 30 in the playoffs?
No.
And it's not. But that's what I'm saying. Like, but now you're putting everything in Embiid, and Embiid can only give you so much. But that's why I don't consider none of those teams. My only thing would be is if the Bucks could show us they're that kind of team in the playoffs, then I won't be saying the Nets are clearly going to win the East. Because that's the only reason why I'm saying it, because they got James Harden, KD, and Kyrie. It don't matter what their bench is looking like. Their bench is going to either have KD or Kyrie starting, or Harden starting somewhere in that bench lineup, which is still ridiculous that I'm even saying that.
There's only 2 things wrong with your analysis, though, G. Is my bad, B. One, I gotta add this point in, man. You keep talking about the Bucks, man. Like the Bucks is like they never had to deal with nobody like KD. All right, like they Kawhi left. They had the conference wide open. They didn't have to deal with nobody like KD, man. You know what I'm saying? And now they got James Harden too. The only thing I wonder is the math seems like it would make sense that you would add Kyrie and it would just be a positive math. But I've seen plenty of teams where the team was better without Kyrie. Actually, it's happened the last 2 places he's been. But that's a whole nother story.
Hey, they say too much of a good thing is bad for you sometimes. I just don't get how it fits. I mean, in the playoffs, I see how it can work in the regular season. I mean, we just get up and down the court, shoot a lot of threes, and we just outscore people. But I'm not sure how it works when people tighten up on defense, rotations tighten. And I don't know. I think it's gonna be a long time before we see if the Nets are what they appear to be.
Yeah, especially for a crash course in coaching that Steve Nash got to go through, man. It's not as easy to just hop in from playing days to coaching. I mean, I don't know who the last player coach that was super successful right off the bat. I really can't think of one that just came in and was. I guess Ty Lue might have been the closest thing, but I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, Ty Lue had.
He's having a Nick moment.
Oh man,
Oh man,
got a little Ronies in the Wi-Fi.
Hey, it's all good. But I can name one coach that came in like that and was successful. Steve Kerr is one. But you know, what do I know? You know what I'm saying?
When they're not on the
court. Catch up. All right, B. Yeah, he gonna catch up. He gonna catch up. He gonna catch up. We gonna catch him up in a minute.
Oh my
yeah. Yeah. You having a Nelly moment, which is a perfect transition for our next topic. Yeah, remember when Nelly back in the old days, man, when the Versuz was at the crib, you know what I'm saying? T, you remember that verse when it was at the crib? So, yo, my Wi-Fi still good? It's good.
There you go. Yeah.
He'll be back, man. It's all good. T, are you excited for this verse? This one's for the ladies, Bill, but I mean, it's still thuggish, you know.
I mean, I'm not excited anymore. Like, this thing been postponed twice, man. I think it's supposed to happen like a month ago. Ashanti got the Ronies. I'm not really excited for it anymore. Like, it lost the buzz for me. I think maybe I'll regain some of that once it actually starts. But as it stands now, man, I'm not even. If it happens, it happens. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get my hopes up for the third time. But I'm gonna take Ashanti. I'll just say that. You know what I'm saying? Not for nothing. I'm taking Ashanti.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that too. I caught myself the other day, man. I was going through the. I don't even know, man. Like Keisha Cole, man. You know, I think for the girls, man. You know, they might feel it a little harder, but you know, the thing that's a cheat code for Ashanti is that she's got all those hits with Ja Rule. You know,
Right.
and Ja Rule has been like, you know, he's like the stepchild of hip hop. You know, we secretly give him his love behind closed doors, but nobody really comes out on Front Street and goes supports Ja Rule, you know, because of how things went down for him. But Ashanti gets all the love, man. Ashanti gets all the love. So Ashanti goes out there in the name of hip hop and the era that they had, Ja Rule Ashanti era. She's gonna play them always on times, all them joints where Ja was singing, and it's gonna be a vibe. And I think Ashanti's gonna take this one. G, what you think?
Yeah, man, you hit the nail on the coffin on this one. Ashanti's been out since what? Since back in the Rockefeller era. I know she had a couple of songs with Big Pun, so you know she's been out for a while. So yeah, and then Keisha Cole, she has some hits. So she was popping in the early 2000s, but after that, it faded away. So yeah, I got a chance on this one.
Yeah, I think this is a style versus substance battle. I think Ashanti represents an era, like you said, man. That's an era in music that's fun to a lot of people. But Keisha Cole, I think, made those anthems that, you know, women really related to. So I don't know if Ashanti can just win on hits alone. I don't know if that's one of these battles where your hits can slide you to a victory. But just because I've really enjoyed that era of music, man, I got to give it to Ashanti, like I said before. But don't sleep on Keisha Cole, man. The ladies got a lot of respect for Keisha Cole. Even if the charts didn't, the billboards didn't or whatever, there's a lot of women out here that put a lot of respect on Keisha's name.
Oh yeah, she got a lot of songs that for women that got cheated on. I know they're gonna be in there. They woo! Please stop saying before I get my shit burnt.
And now they're going back to the format where they're not in the same room. So I don't know who that plays to more. You know, somebody will take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? With the background, maybe performing and whatnot. So that's an added element that we haven't seen in a while since the Nelly era of the Versuz.
Right. It's gonna be interesting. Bryce, you back with us? Nope.
Welcome. Oh man,
he ain't ready. He ain't ready yet. Nah, he on deck, but he not moving. So I'm gonna put him on ice for a minute. We gonna throw him in a bag of rice. We gonna hope the water gets out. But they got something new though. Something new, man. I want to see what y'all think about this, man. Y'all hear about this Pro Bowl versus? Y'all hear about this? Y'all read up on it? If not, I'll tell y'all about it. And the fans.
Please tell me.
So they got this new thing, man. It's a Pro Bowl versus. They trying to mash up with sports and music, on some sports for the culture type thing. I wonder who gave them that idea. But they try and do a mashup basically. It's gonna be a versus like the artist, but it's gonna be athlete on athlete. So it's gonna be athletes playing their highlights up against each other. So we're gonna have like a Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and T.O. and Randy Moss going highlight for highlight on a versus type style. I'm not sure if it's going to be streamed on Versus TV or what exactly it's going to be, but it's going to be during Pro Bowl weekend. I'll keep it simple for y'all. Would y'all watch that? Would y'all watch that? Would y'all watch the Pro Bowl versus?
I'd watch that before I watch the actual Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a chance to see. I'm not sure the actual matchups. I don't know if I want to see Tim Brown versus Jerry Rice, but I'd like to see a Jerry Rice versus a Moss or a T.O. versus a Moss or, some of the current guys, Hopkins versus Adams. Like, I'd like to see something like that. So, yeah, because the actual Pro Bowl is a terrible product.
Yeah, I think we can agree with that. G, would you watch the Pro Bowl versus?
Hell yeah. This is what T just said. You have Adams versus Hopkins. Woo, those highlights, 1-for-1. Or let's say Aaron Jones versus King Henry. Not to say Aaron Jones is just as good as King Henry, but there's some plays that Aaron Jones did some explosive plays in.
Yeah, I mean we got a lot of classic moments, that we can live on. Talk about T.O. on the cowboy symbol. It's definitely nostalgic. I feel that. It could be fun, man. It could be fun.
I think it's cool to introduce some of the younger sports fans to some of the names. You know what I mean? Some of the older guys that paved the way. And I like what the NFL is doing. It's still a copycat league. Oh man, we got some.
Can we have some? Can we have some
birthdays? How do we block that guy? Randy Moss over T.O. Nah, I'm messing with you. That's a good debate.
Man, T.O. over Randy, man. We had that debate live. That joint was lit. I'm still going T.O. over Randy. Randy's my guy, man. But them highlights, T.O. highlights, bro, they go crazy.
I think T.O.'s probably a better statistical choice, but I think Randy had more impact on the culture. For that reason, you gotta go. We support for the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody getting TO'd. Nah, they getting mobbed.
Man. Remember, T.O.'s had some of the best post game interview. That's my quarterback.
That was a classic.
Yeah. Or get your popcorn ready. Like, I don't know, man. So T.O. had some of the best soundbite. My man doing a workout in front of the whole media. That was a great interview. I had me rolling as a kid.
Hey, man,
doing sit-ups.
I tried to get him to watch the highlights so we could compare them, man. They ain't want to watch them, man. But I'm telling you, you watch them highlights, T.O. highlights versus Randy highlights, you will be surprised. I promise.
Yeah, okay. Well, we shall see. I'll tell you what was actually surprising is y'all know if y'all been keeping up with these presidential pardons. We on the culture. We might as well keep it all the way 100 on the culture topic this week. Yo, y'all see the presidential pardons? My man from Death Row Records got a presidential pardon from Trump, man.
Who's talking about?
Yo, that's exactly what Bryce said, yo. Well, that's exactly what Bryce said. Nah, I think his name is man. So I gotta tell you.
Harry O.
Harry O. There you go. I knew it was something with an initial. Harry O. This guy got a presidential pardon. Never heard of him? It's all good. You ain't have to hear about
the guy.
It's all good, man, because when you're the president, you can do what you want. All right? Not really. I'm not condoning the nonsense. But what I'm saying is, let's play make-believe for a minute. It got me thinking, bro. It got me thinking, man. The stuff that I've been thinking. If I was president, you know, if you had the ability to presidential pardon anybody, who would you do your presidential pardon on? You know? Free pass, bro. You can get anybody out, you know, whatever you want to do. Anybody you might want to take me up on an offer? It's a one-time offer.
I mean, I free my man Drake Dizzle. You know what I'm saying? He doing life for a murder he didn't commit. But all of these little celebrities, Kodak Black and Lil Wayne and all them, I don't know if I'd be doing all that if I was the president, man. You got, I mean, I'm from an era where you stand your time. So you do the crime, you do the time. Matter of fact, free anybody with a marijuana conviction. You know, I pardon all them guys. If you got a weed arrest in any form or format, you know, now that we got all these billionaires making money off of marijuana, go home, man. That's the only pardon I'm giving up.
My man DK said he giving Bobby Shmurda the presidential pardon. He gonna come out. He gonna come out like motherfucking dang, y'all lost it. Like my man with the hammer. What's my man's name? Nah.
Thor?
I don't know. We just saw Rowdy Rebel come home, man. Shmurda be home.
He gonna throw his hat up. His hat gonna come down to him like Thor with the hammer. He's gonna be like, "We ready."
Shmurda, man. I definitely don't know who I would pardon, but you know what I would do? I would rework my pardon just so I could have a get out of jail free one. You know what I'm saying? Put my pardon in my back pocket. Use it on myself just in case I get out of hand one of these days, man. Can you do that with a pardon? Do they work that way?
No,
can you pardon
they don't
yourself?
work that way.
I'm not sure that you can pardon.
Can you save a pardon? Can you take a pardon and say, I'm gonna save this for 10 years down the line or something?
Nah, you can't. You definitely can't pocket that pardon.
One-time use.
Yeah, but you could have the next president in your pocket, which would then give you a potential roadway to a pardon. House of Cards, man. Y'all gotta stay up on it, man. Y'all gotta stay up on it. But I'll tell you what, though, man. If I could give my presidential pardon,
Bill Cosby, you heard?
Bill Cosby.
You said Bill Cosby?
Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby.
Oh, Bill Cosby.
Free Bill Cosby, you heard? All that shit that he did, man. God bless his soul, man. I don't know, man. I can't believe Bill Cosby did that shit, yo. It's hard for me to believe.
Free Mr. Huxtable.
Free
Mr. Huxtable.
Nice.
That's a tree I'm not gonna bark up right there.
Nah.
I just found a tree I will not climb today.
Nah. But if we gonna free somebody, man. Free El Chapo, man. Free El Chapo, man. He was just selling this. He was just selling drugs, man. You know what I mean? He wasn't hurting nobody. He's making the world a better place, man.
Oh my God, no, he was not. He need to keep his Mexican ass in there, and I'm half Mexican.
Yo.
Like, we need less criminals, man. He said freedom is the road in the world. You're tweaking.
Nah, you're right. I am tweaking though. But seriously though, man. Bringing it back to our final topic of the evening. One of my favorites. It's what are you watching segment. I'll tell you. I'm gonna lead it off with what I watched this weekend. One of y'all sound crazy.
Hey, what you got?
I don't know who it is. Don't matter. But hey, what I was watching this weekend, one thing that I want everybody to go out there and watch. Me and Jeet actually just watched it. A joint called American Skin. It's a Spike Lee joint. Nate Parker is the main actor. They got my man Amari Hardwick on there. They got Shorty from On the Block. They got a lot of good actors and actresses on this joint. It's basically it's about cops. It's about race relations. It's about everything that's relevant right now in America. If you're a person of color, it's relevant. It has some much needed conversations. It's great. It talks about storytelling. It's inspiring. It's real dope how they did it. It's basically like done from a perspective of like a documentary, as if it was a documentary being filmed. It's really dope. Me and G both seen that joint. G the one that suggested it to me. Shout out G. But definitely go check out American Skin. That's my must watch for what I'm watching. Fellas, free for anybody. What y'all watching?
I mean, I'm watching a lot of different things right now. American Gods is season 3. I just started season 2, so I'm a little behind. But so far that's great. You know what I'm saying? It's about the new world gods, like technology and globalization versus like the old gods, Odin and Easter and things like that. That's a good show. I'm watching Lupin on Netflix. It's about a guy that's pretty much getting revenge for his dad. He's a thief. He uses charisma and mastery of all things deceitful to accomplish this stuff. That's a really good show. It's underrated. I don't know where it came from, but it's a good show on Netflix. I'm on episode 3, so I strongly recommend those 2. I know a lot of people have recommended Lupin to me, but I was already on it. But yeah, those are 2 for me right now. Right? What's up?
It's really good. I see it in my recommendation, but I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's only like 5, 6 episodes, man. Trust me, it's worth your time. Good action, a little funny, but I like the style of it too. I think it's French. I think it's a French like comedy / mystery. It's a good show though. It's a good show.
That's cool.
Right. Well, man, every once in a while I pick up a old trilogy of movies that I kind of missed the boat on, and this time around I'm messing with this new age Star Wars trilogy. I've already seen the first one, Force Awakens, but I'm gonna start with that one from the jump. Watch that whole one. I got through half of it, so I'll probably try to watch it from start to finish this weekend. Then get to the next 2 new ones. I was talking to my uncle. He was telling me I got to watch these Star Wars movies, giving me all the conspiracies about them and all that. I'm gonna go ahead and watch them. I am a fan of the classic Star Wars, that's for sure. So I'm excited to see these 2 new ones. I'm excited to see what this, all the new special effects and stuff did to the Star Wars series.
This is the one with Anakin, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a Star Trek guy, but
nah, this one with Han Solo. This first one had Han Solo, and I guess the next one is like training the girl, the new Jedi, on how to be a Jedi. I'm really not sure because I haven't seen them. But
okay. So the joint that had Childish Gambino, I think he's in
right.
Solo. All right, I know.
Right. All right. Yeah, so I'm gonna get through those this weekend. Hopefully if I can find the time. Y'all know how time goes these days.
Thanks. You got G? You watching something? Anything good?
Well, right now I'm back into my anime bag, and Attack on Titan season 6 is out, and it's not disappointing. They actually are doing their thing right now. If you're an Attack on Titan fan, hop back on it. I know season 5 was garbage, but now season 6 is like it's tying up all the loose ends, and so far it's amazing right now. They're doing their thing.
You watching Attack on Titan subtitles, dub? Like, what you watching? I gave up on Attack on Titan after like season 2.
No. I watch subs, but if the sub was good enough, I'll rewatch back again in English dub, just so I don't have to read this shit this time. And I'm looking at actually what's going on.
I feel you. I'm a big anime guy, so I'm glad to hear Attack on Titan still going strong. Give me something to catch up on.
You watch what's this other new one? What is this? What is oh damn, I can't even remember this shit. But whatever. I remember next time.
All right.
Until the next, what are you watching?
Oh, that. Yeah, why you got my cousin Miguel on here, yo? He's speaking.
Gee, what are you doing?
Hey,
We caught G stepping out in between deliveries.
You feel me? You gotta deliver love sometimes, man.
G said he delivering them with love. He will always handle with care, and he willing to go through the back door. Pause.
This shit got crazy.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah.
Man. Nah, man. All jokes, all funny,
Yes,
all good,
culture
man.
tonight, baby.
Yeah, we keeping it funky, man. It's been another hilarious, funny episode, man. Make sure y'all go ahead. If you're not already subscribed on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. You see us with the guys, man. Go ahead, get you some merch. Merch is on sale right now. Bundle boxes, bro. They're on sale right now. You get all your gas merch for like $30-something, man. And if you're lucky, one of us will hand deliver it to you, or a regular UPS man like G. He might drop one off to you personally if you're
Take
nasty.
it to your front door.
$50 extra if you want a gas member to drop it off to your house.
You already see me deliver pizzas. I might as well show you some love.
He would bring a pizza with him.
Hey.
Yeah,
Hey, we will get them out to y'all, man. Wherever y'all at, man. Even international folks, man. We do international shipping, man. Holla at us, bro. Shop, GoodAssSports. It's GoodAssSports/shop. My bad. Subscribe to us, follow us, all that good stuff, man. Y'all know what we do, man. We sports for the culture, so we only close it out one way. Y'all know what time it is. Sports for the culture.
Sports
for the culture.